Like,
Well, then does that say to you she don't really like me? Because any skills I have, when
yeah,
I really like
yeah,
somebody, I offer them.
absolutely. It
And
doesn't.
I want to be around him and help him as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, pretty much that's what that says. Either that says that I don't like you, or I don't believe in you enough to invest my time into that. As
So
harsh as that might sound, that's just the truth.
I think that's what it is.
The actions are louder than the
I
words.
think that's what it is. Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, when I keep hearing him in this proverbial imaginary table, and I'm like, I don't know what else you'll need me to bring if you working a 9 to 5 and I'm working a 9 to 5.
This is kind of, if he's working a 9 to 5, that's totally different. But when you're dealing with an entrepreneur or entertainer, that's a different hat that requires to be worn. For example, I pretty much got rid of my last relationship because I look at my situation like I'm a CEO of a company. Killing Time Productions is a company. I pay taxes on this company. I pay to register this company with the state every year. This is a company, right? So I am sitting in a big building behind a desk that says CEO. I don't have a receptionist. I don't have anybody I don't have no janitors. I don't have none of this. So if a woman walks into my life, I gotta now hire her. So I need help in so many avenues, right? And so the way I look at it as being a brand, I'm capable. I've made off of just stand up and booking shows. It's been months where I brought in $5,000 on my own. This is just me making calls, me answering the phone. So if I got somebody to allow me to focus on what I'm best at, which is the creative part, it's nothing to make $20,000 a month, $40,000 a month, 60,000. Like, that's the way I look at it. So if I'm dating somebody who has shown me that they have the potential to blossom in certain areas where I'm hiring.
Well, you need help.
Right. Right. And I remember.
So you said a specific
But
scenario.
will she get what they always talk about, the wifey duties? I don't know if I want to put all that into a guy and I'm not sure if he really wants me. Is that where she is? Or have you given her the green light that we're in this relationship and I need your help?
Oh yeah.
Because some women will back off, and I'm not jumping into that until I know I got something. I know we got something special, and I don't blame them.
No, absolutely. I would ask nobody to do that who I haven't fully committed myself to. You know what I mean? So it was one of those situations where I had called her friends and was like, find out her ring size, because I was thinking about potentially marrying this person. And she had expressed to me.
I remember when you called me.
Yeah. She had expressed to me, because I listened.
Like,
I learned
damn.
so much by listening. Anybody listen to this podcast,
Amen.
if you listen, you will learn. When I was in college and
I
high
learned that
school,
late in life.
that's why I used to learn where the hoes was at and who was the hoes in school. Because I would sit by girls' tables by myself and
That's
just
how
be
we fall where
quiet.
the ballers at.
And they be like, girl, I said, hit it. I'm like, oh shit, these the hoes right here. But I learned that by listening. So listening to her tell me, oh yeah, I used to manage rap artists and I used to run this and I used to organize these tours, and so you're letting me know how you can be an asset to me because I need all this.
But you're not doing it.
That's a department in my building that's a battleship that needs manning.
So did you ever have this conversation and said,
Several
ma'am,
times.
why are you not helping me?
Several
Do
times.
you not believe in me? What's going on?
Several times. And it wasn't that, like, it would be more like, I remember the last thing that right before I broke it off with her, it was like she was looking for a job. And I'm like, just randomly, when I was just like, what's this job paying? Like, how much are you trying to make? She was like, oh, like about 40,000. And I remember going, that's it? And she looked at me like, what you mean that's it? And I'm just like, I could sell a script and make that in a week. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that is small money. You stepping over $1 to pick up a whole dime, in my opinion. Because why not help your man? Because I'm invested in this at this point. This ain't no chick I'm just meeting and going out with and going, hey, I can use you. No, that's not how it works. Why not help your man get to a certain goal? Because you're going to reap the benefits of the shit.
Okay, so if she had done that, her bills would have been paid, or she'd have moved in with you or something like that. And she would have been taken care of if she just took on this volunteer job, because she ain't got no money. Or is she getting a salary? What is? Because I'm just saying, I'm wondering what is the apprehension?
It's
Something
one of
had
those,
this woman stuck.
It's one of those situations, and I've seen this happen. One of my good friends is in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
and he does well in real
Mhm.
estate. And I have had conversations with his wife where she was like, "Yeah, I kept my job, but I also came home and I put a few hours a night into what he was doing, so
I
that
love
way
that.
when he built up enough, I told my job, and she said she was making 70, 80 grand. When
Mhm.
he built up enough on his own brand, she was able to quit her job and focus on their brand, and now they
I love
booming.
that when that story works out because there's other times in history
Oh yeah,
where you have put that effort into a man. You may have even worked while he went to school to be a lawyer, a doctor, whatever, and then he comes back home and decides, I'm gonna marry the nurse over here.
I mean that.
And some women have, because that type of scoring has happened, they have, and this used to happen a lot. I think it used to happen a lot, like 60s, 70s, 80s. So now you have this new crew and people like me. Because my mother saw that.
makes
They're
sense.
like, your mom was like, wait a minute, hold up, before you get too invested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait before you.
So-
I'm not necessarily one that says, because I like the stuff that I do. I have a battle between cybersecurity and comedy all the time because I like what I do.
Yeah,
So I don't mind working.
right.
I don't mind having. I know a couple where she works. They save all of her money. She don't live out of her money. They live out of his money. But he has a business, like you said, so she carries all the health insurance. So when she retires, all of this money is there, and they're gonna travel and they're gonna do anything. And he has a construction company, so of course when it rains, he can't work or he can't put the trucks out or whatever. So they're chilling because they got this money in the bank because she has a good salary. And I like to see people. I love that. I like when people build
up.
things together.
Team up against this
And
battle
I hate it when they
that you're
can't
in.
do it.
Yeah.
Man, you just said it. It's like it's more of a teammate, like a business relation, a business slash
Because doesn't that have to
personal
be
relationship.
on the same level for the shit to work?
She has to because now
You've got to be have the same business brain before you step into some shit like that,
Yeah.
or it ain't go because it becomes part of it. Like
Mhm.
it's just crazy. I don't know. You hear people get married
Because what's gonna happen if
But-
you don't, and I'll give you this scenario. Let's say me and Chick would have stayed together, or I start dating a woman now who doesn't want to help build a brand. She doesn't.
Mm-mm.
So, but what's gonna happen is once I begin to grow and become more successful, and my brand gets bigger, then what you gonna take off of work to come to these red carpet events? You gonna miss work to come to premieres? What you gonna do if I go on a 60 city tour?
So she gonna
You
quit her job.
No, I'm not gonna let you quit.
That's
then,
what they're gonna do.
Because
That's
no,
what they're gonna.
that's not gonna happen.
That's
That's waiting
another
at the
piece
finish
to the
line,
puzzle.
right.
isn't it?
That's waiting at the finish line.
That's another
No.
piece of the puzzle. You
Taking
have
a
women
shortcut.
right
I can
now.
get my own goddamn
They're
water.
like, no, I'm gonna be in hypergamy then.
No. Hell no.
And
That's what's gonna get your ass
That's
dumped.
another
Wow.
crew. That's why you got to
That's
get to
gonna
know
get you
these
dumped.
people. Stop and get to know these people.
So-
Slow down. Because there are women who do, and I ain't mad at them, this is what they want to do. They want to marry guys that they don't have to do anything but be beautiful, and he works his
Nah, I
ass
don't want that.
off, and she's here trophy wife, and, I shouldn't have to help you be a man, and this is their philosophy. I shouldn't have to help you be a man, help you do anything. You go do that. I'll be over here. Now, especially if they're having children and other things like that, and they want to focus on the home.
Yeah.
They want to focus. Fine with me. They want that guy with that money. Some women, and they love to down those women, but some women like to get in and be a part of it because it's, something about building and making results happen
Absolutely.
is rewarding.
Absolutely.
Some women want to do that, and that's who you kind of got to concentrate, because you don't want the one that's going to sit there and agree to everything, and then you find out later on she's full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, what's really cool is when I don't know, like poor people do that. Like when like my mom was that person where she had this idea in her head of like, no, I'm a stay at home doing this, and it's like they had this fantasy that they were gonna live that, and it's like the reality was we ain't got no water. Like you need to be working. This ain't Like I'm like 6 years old, going, what? Mom?
I know a lot
I
of
go to
women like
school
that.
all day. Like get a job.
I know a lot of women and I was home for a little while with my kids, and my kids and they loved it. They loved it. But I always did extra little things, work from home or flea markets and things like that. And I never had the idea that I was gonna stay there for long because I wanted to go back. Because what people don't understand in this damn economy, people can't afford to do. Atlanta, you can't afford to live here.
You can't.
Somebody got to work. A couple people got to work. The kids got to work.
But,
So if you're looking for certain things, you're gonna have to go get it.
Pick the right dude. Don't pick a dude that can't do it. Like
your mama picked the dude.
She picked a dude that couldn't.
You're right, because I did not pick that
like,
kind of dude.
She just kept staying, and then it was just fights about the power and the water. It's like, why? I'll never get married. Because it's like you see that, and just all the things have to work, and then you have friends and buddies that get married, and they call you, and you're like, why does anybody do this shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just at the point where I don't know.
To tonight's topic.
Everybody I see that looks really good.
Welcome to the broadcast on the west side of Atlanta here at Music Head Studios. Here with Paula G, Plug Chapman, Cream Plug Chapman, and I'm Austin King.
The one and only.
And yeah, like I don't get the whole what. It doesn't make sense to me.
To get married.
Yeah, like it
is.
Because what it is, it's like, okay, you have two people. They've met up. Not everything's figured out, but it's cool. And then you do the whole marriage thing where there's just this giant fucking party for some reason, and you get a letter from the lieutenant governor. Like, I don't understand.
You pretty much pay to have a bunch of people come out and witness the fact that you guys
and then
love
you
each
stand
other.
up there on a fucking stage in front of all these people.
It's a stage.
On a goddamn stage, and you stand up there. I'm with you until you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Until worms are decomposing your body, you are with me.
How possessive?
No, I'm coming back in the afterlife to haunt you. Go ahead.
Just so there's some agreement that, hey, if this ends before worms are in your skull, I'm getting half your shit. Like that,
And people don't even have shit to get half. That's what's killing me. This economy, things that are going on, it's nothing.
Shout out to
but
my
a house to sell.
Shout out to my buddy, a New York comic named Chris Brown. He got the funniest divorce joke because he literally said, my divorce was $75. Like, that's how much we didn't have. He was like, I was calling my buddies like, hey, they got $75 divorces. You still need one? It's like, that shit is so funny. But it's true. It's like, I'm the worst man to date.
Yeah.
And what I mean
I
by...
can tell. No, I'm just
No, you're right. No offense. No offense.
But you keeps it real.
But here's the thing.
You working for me or you ain't.
What I mean,
you gonna give me some.
Absolutely. What I mean by that is it's not that I'm a cheater. I ain't gonna beat on you. I don't mean that. What I mean is I know how to do everything alone. I cannot suck my own dick. And I can't fuck myself. Everything else, I can cook. I can goddamn wash my own clothes.
You just don't take yoga.
Yeah. Man, I'm not. Even if I did, I'm not interested in that part. Like, that's what I'm going to need some assistance with. But, so it's like that, and it goes back to the, what's in this for me? Like, I have to listen to all this shit. I got to be a fucking, all of this list of shit for this person.
And on the woman's side, we're saying the same thing. He want all this. We might as well just. I literally read some chicks say, you know what? It was a tweet or something. Let's normalize 5 chicks going to buy a mansion and just live there for the rest of our life. Just forget this shit. Forget it.
They want 5 periods going at one time.
Ooh, but whatever. They'll be in their own wing, I think. They want a certain lifestyle. They're going for it themselves. And men are doing the same thing. They know how to cook and clean. They're going for it. The men know how to cook and clean. They're doing, and it's almost
just
like,
turning into just survival of the fittest. Everybody just fuck it.
I think that's what it's turning into. That's what it's turning into.
Because it's nothing. It's
survival of the fittest.
It all comes down to what you want individually, right? You got to start there. Start with what you want. I can't do what's best for me based off of what Austin wants. Can't do what's based off of what I want, based off of what Paula wants. I have to do what's best for me. And the way I live, the peace that I have being alone. When I want a woman's company, it's cool, but you can go home at some point. So it's like, that's why it's like with the marriage shit, it's like, why?
And I'm literally hearing women say the same. He can go home.
Why?
Or I can go over there and go home. I'm literally hearing this on both sides. I'm not hearing women hardly anymore. I want a man. I used to hate that. I used to hate to go out. I want to go out and have fun when I was younger. And it was like, any man gonna be there? Any man gonna be? I hated to take females like that with me. I hated it. Let's just go have fun. There's probably gonna be some dudes there because it's food, it's liquor, it's whatever. And I don't hear that anymore. Any men gonna be there? Any men gonna be? It's like, that was annoying. Now they're not. We're going with food, liquor. What's gonna be there? What entertainment? Who gonna be there? But they don't care. Is it men gonna be there? And I'm hearing it on both sides. I'm hearing guys say, "What the hell?"
It's because everything's so goddamn expensive.
That's true.
It makes sense. I understand women saying that. Like that don't offend me.
Yeah,
it don't offend me when the men say it. Cause when I heard peace, the first time I heard I like peace in my home, I heard it from a dude, and I was like, yeah. The light bulb clicked, and I said, "You're right. It's peaceful in my home. Do I want that disturbed?"
even though that I'm not necessarily needy or possessive, or I know women that have dealt with those type of guys, so I can understand why it's like, what is the point of this? Like I can say, I can only speak for me from the male perspective, and you spend more time standing up than you do laying down with a motherfucker. Period. So it's like, if you got to go through all of this bullshit just to get to the laying down part, what's really? I got an uncle. Motherfucker is 72. Never been married. I don't remember. I had never met no woman. Just to the point where, like, if you didn't know, you'd be like, you got one of them uncles got a roommate. Nah, this motherfucker ain't gay. What he does, when he gets paid, he retired now. But when he was working, he would get off of work on Friday, go cash his check, and buy some pussy. And when I was younger, I was like, you be tricking out. What you doing? And he said, I'll never forget. He looked at me one day and was like, you will understand after you get your heart broken and after you go through all these relationships, you're going to understand my logic. And as I get older, even though I ain't really physically went out and be like you, how much I understand, because he don't have to deal with the bullshit.
And I respect the fact that he went and bought it instead of going to lying to women to get it.
Yeah.
Knowing he don't want nobody.
He was done
and
with
destroying
talking.
all these women in the pathway just to get what he wants.
When I tell you,
leave women alone if you don't want nothing from it. There's some that will agree to that.
Absolutely. This motherfucker is 70-something years old and got less gray hair than me. He don't have no kids.
I promise you, everybody who don't have, they look good.
He doesn't.
They look good.
And every time I talk to him, I just be like, you are a fucking prophet. And he was like, I tried to tell your ass 34 years ago, motherfucker. Like,
well, it's not even about, I just respect that he is just done with talking. Like, he's like, I have all this going on. This is all I need, and I'm just not going to participate in that anymore. I'm just going to... There's no. This ain't a Disney movie. None of this shit's real.
It's the risk from my side, and from having my friends married and seeing my dad go through a few divorces. It's like the risk ain't really worth the reward.
I just think if you're gonna go that path, you gotta have some good relationships that are not romantic. Because I've listened to a mortician, I've listened to a nurse, and there's more. They find more men dead and alone than they ever find women.
Yeah, I could see that.
And they'll go, and of course they'll attribute it to being dogs or whatever. And I think some of them just checked out and they're alone. And some haven't been great to their kids or didn't have much of a relationship, so the kids are not there. Yeah. And they said when they do have somebody, when you do have somebody on the stroke ward or or you see them sick and they go in there and get them, when they do have somebody they're well taken care of, or they'll have somebody that got them in the back room and they're just taking their check. He's got bed sores, he's not taken care of. And I think what men who are going to check out, because a lot of men are checking out like that now. If they're going to check out, they better have a good relationship with someone, because they're being found dead and alone. But these women aren't. They got friends, they got children, they built
it's
these
hard out on these
villages.
streets.
Yeah.
Like it's
You know.
hard.
So you have to
just-
think about it. You know,
You make a few wrong decisions, and you got some bed stores, and nobody's there beside you. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just
It can
think,
be
though,
tough.
back to the question is like,
Cause
So isn't
shit's,
nobody-
cause shit's fucking expensive. We're
It's-
going back to that.
You know what I
It's
think?
just-
This is my theory. I think it's just too expensive for a lot of men to have more than one woman.
I think it's too time consuming.
I think it's too. They don't have enough money. Because
Well-
I'm telling you, men back in the day could have about 2-3 women. It was good, but now you can't.
Yeah.
You
the
just
cost-
can't.
The cost of living now ain't what it was back
So they
then.
mad. I think they mad because they can't do 2 and 3. They got to really
When
settle
rent-
down with one woman and know this one woman, and she driving them crazy.
When rent was $550 for a 2-bedroom, you could go pay 2 mortgages. But now rent goddamn $1,700 for a 2-bedroom. You try that shit.
and they
that's
mad
like
with us because they can't
$100.
afford everybody. They mad at us.
You
Don't be
can't.
mad at me.
You can't go to fast food without spending $20 now.
Yes.
Bro.
You know, Arby's. Listen, I grew up on Arby's, the Big Montana, all that shit, and 5 for $5 was the biggest fucking deal in our house because we could eat for like 3 days off of $5, getting 5, and that was used to be when they were big. Now they're out here with these little tiny fucking sandwiches, 5 for 10,
Yeah.
5
Sliders.
for 10.
Yeah. The shit is
No.
it basically boils down to
I
this.
can't believe I'm bitching about Arby's right
Either-
now, but
either-
but shit's expensive.
You might be
Either-
having the munchies.
Nah.
Taco Bell high. Either
Nah.
you building with somebody, and like you say, like how my homeboy situation and people that you know where they built a life together. If not, you are wasting your You are pretty much paying for a live-in fuck buddy that's gonna take the house from you when the shit doesn't go right.
I don't understand the couple. I like the couples that fight. That's still a thing. Like fighting, where they go out and they're just fucking fighting.
Oh, in public?
Oh,
In
yeah.
public, well, we
I
got
grew up around those.
My neighbor the other
Ooh.
day, I was standing outside,
And they would stay married.
and she was yelling something. She was just, you could just hear, and I heard him say, "You're a motherfucking lie." And I was like, "Why would you just leave? Why is it 30 years of this? I don't understand."
Man, I grew up
Comfort.
around
Listen,
it. We grew up
my
around that
thing-
kind of stuff.
Plug's got his thing where he's building an empire thing, right? He's got his fucking thing going. I'm just a fucking roller coaster. Like,
You up and down.
get on the ride if you want to be on the ride, and then you don't like a few of the bumps, then you're free to go. But there's not. But this
I'm
shit.
just walking
This shit.
down the road,
Paul-
lonely.
Paula, so Plug's getting his shit together. I'm a fucking carnival ride, and Paula's just in her Crocs, working on her porch, walking down the road.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't get a paycheck, right? So I literally have to get up every day and flip rocks
And
over.
fucking hustle.
I flip rocks over.
Yep.
So if I take 2 hours out of my rock flipping day to listen to you talk to me about
That's the oldest thing
Sound like you
I've
was
ever
cussing.
heard you say
That's a-
out of my
That's a t-shirt. What, you must be out your rock flipping mind.
rock flipping.
yeah, if I take
Are you like you're like a fisherman from like 1780 or something?
yeah, lighthouse.
You must be out your rock flipping mind. Go ahead.
So if I take 2 hours out of my day to listen to you talk to me about nothing that is essentially
Profitable.
benefiting me, right? Then it's like, what's the purpose? I got to do all that just for some lay down time.
Yeah.
I think I just had a revelation. Shout out to my uncle, man. I think I'm about to just start paying for it. I think that is my resolution. I'm just
What's the budget?
Right. I'll send you a few hello beautiful emojis. I think I'm just gonna start paying for it, man. Cause it's like
Well, I mean, you'd be freeing because you wouldn't.
I think some women are gonna start paying for it.
you wouldn't.
they should.
Really?
I mean, I
You
don't
know,
know
a
about Austin, but
can we get a contract or something? You know,
I could definitely throw this dick on the market. I got meat on the market.
You'll get that little bit of companionship, and you just go save money. Headache and time. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I just hate it.
It's too much, man. It's like it's one of those situations, and I know where I, as a man, get caught up in the sauce, right? And me and Austin talk about this a lot. It's like you got to keep it casual and occasional, right? That's the way to win. It's like chick came over my house the other night. We had sex. It was good sex to the point where it was like, hey, I would want to do that again. But the next day when she goes, "What you doing tonight?" I'm busy tonight. I don't need to make because when it becomes a routine.
You
then.
cannot be too available.
Yeah, and
that is my talk to my. You cannot. My daughters do not be available. You have to ration out your time.
Yes.
Ration out your time.
Yes.
And it has to be intentional.
Yes.
You have to be intentional. They can't get to you every day all the time because then it's like the old Eddie Murphy joke about crackers. Remember that he said, you hadn't had crackers in a long time. When you get tasted some crackers, it's these crackers are good. These crackers are good. And then he said, but then when you had them so much, and I think that's what happens to women and men.
Absolutely,
they get into the thing of availability, whether it's sex, whether it's cuddling, whether it's eating out, whether it's. I mean, I'm just so used to this. I can just now. I hate to say it, shit on you.
Absolutely, and
that's what it seems to be. And so you have to almost go, and it's hard when you really are a feeling, huggy, touchy, loving person, which I am. Yeah. I can't stand it, but I have to be intentional.
I just had this come when Austin pulled up.
Takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah,
it does.
When Austin pulled up, I just literally had this conversation because me and the back and forth girl, she's literally telling me she doesn't want. We don't want a relationship. She don't want a relationship. Basically saying, well, we ain't finna be fucking no more. So I'm telling her well, if you think you about to be able to call me all day and text me all day, you're fucking mistaken. That's relationship shit. Whether I'm getting some pussy or whatever. I'm not gonna be available for that.
What are you doing to deserve for me to be at your beckoning call and I get nothing?
Right.
And that's on women and men. That's on women and men. And I know women do it. I know. I did it back in the day. But it's the time frame that you do.
Last week.
I don't do that to anybody anymore. I don't.
No, you're right.
But I'm just saying, now, if somebody keep bugging me and I have put them in their place, this is all it's gonna be, but you still calling me to go out to eat.
Oh, that's on them.
I'm going. Yeah, but in my 20s, I didn't have some guy drop me off to another guy's house. I didn't do stuff like that. But I had dudes I'm hungry.
Yeah.
What you want to eat? And I know I had no intention. I'm not gonna say anything to him.
Oh, that impression. That was a great. Was that Fred McGriff? Is that what Fred McGriff said to you? Is that what he said? Yeah, is that what that was? It was Crime Dog. I knew it was Crime Dog.
No, he probably was in the what you call it, lower league, one of them little leagues out in the country.
He was in the grapefruit league. Yeah. He never made it past Sarasota.
He was out. He was in what little town? It's somewhere in Georgia. But
Paula has a taste for pro athletes. So
I don't know. No, I don't. I used to think they were dumb as hell. I ran from them. I didn't like them.
Well, man,
they
make all the money.
I literally chose my ex-husband over a pro athlete. I literally chose him. He had no AC in his damn car, but he was so smart at work. That was all I can tell you.
You hear that, fellas? Smart will get you places.
Smart, but I don't know. It's just
so Plug. If you found that person that signed up for the Plug business plan, and it was worth flipping rocks for.
Rock flipping.
But her thing was, we got to get married. Would you do that?
If I was feeling her like that.
Yeah.
So
you're not opposed to marriage.
Nah.
But it's got to be the right thing.
The modern day marriage is kind of a sham, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I'm not opposed to.
What is it? 9/10 of your salary? What's the formula for a fucking ring?
You better take this ring popping and get the hell out of my
What is it? What is it, Paula? Do you know?
It's like seven. What is it? 7.
How much salary you should spend on an engagement ring?
I don't know. I just told him what I wanted. No, I want that one.
Yeah, it's like
no, he got it. I don't know. I don't know.
If you meet somebody,
but Plug, isn't there like a formula?
It is.
Yeah,
it is a formula.
But I'm not sticking to no formula.
I spent $1,200 on one time.
Hey,
I was smart though.
Just
I did
one
time. You said I spent $1,200 on one of them.
I meant on one of those one time.
Oh.
It was a one-time, never again, one-time learning experience extravaganza. Not to do that.
I'm at the age now where, sex is very important to me, but I've done it enough to where it's now I'm like, what else? Back when I was younger.
That's what my mama says that. She always say, what's new? It's Sex ain't nothing
Yeah,
new.
I never
They
got
didn't
to
invent it
that.
last week. It's been around forever. What else?
Like a chick could literally keep me around like in a sexual daze, like back in the day when I was younger. But it's like now, I'm like, all right, you cool, that's cool. We got that part established. But again, how is our stand-up time? Because the time that we got to spend together out of the bed, what is that like? Is that peaceful? Is that rewarding? Is that fulfilling? Because if that's not, then
Enjoyable.
it's gonna make me look forward to the bedtime more, which can't happen as much, which turns into frustration. You know what I mean? It's like if you have, because I've been in relationships where I've been happy with a woman to where sex scaled down. It wasn't as important. But if I'm not happy outside of the bed, then if all I'm getting is sex, that's all I'm gonna want. So that's my energy is gonna be focused towards that. You know what I mean? And it makes shit kind of complicated. Makes kind of complicated when you ain't getting none. You like, this motherfucker ain't doing what she. I need you. You got one job. All you do is spin records.
Man, I have a lot of married friends,
Me too.
and every time I talk to them,
They never tell
they're
you to do
just
this.
fucking miserable.
Yeah.
they're fine, but it's like I'm just listening to the things that they talk about and just seeing. I'm just like that. None of that sounds
I think
appealing
too.
at all to me.
I'm looking at people and I'm saying the same thing. 'Cause I had a conversation with my daughter. I said, "Have we ever seen a healthy marriage relationship? Have we even seen healthy people?"
You don't know because people are gonna present things one
What?
way,
Yeah.
and they could be. You could have and I saw this with my own eyes. We used to live next door to these people in College Park, and on the outside, you would think this was the perfect marriage. But if you came in my house and spent the night at my house, 2 in the morning, when you hear the "bitch, you a motherfucking lie" and all that,
After they got drunk.
then you be like, wait a minute, where's this couple who was out in the back cooking and doing all of this shit that looks like it was healthy earlier? Now y'all in this bitch chasing each other around with steak knives and shit. Like, so no.
They're sparring partners. They're
The
not
thing
married.
is-
They're sparring
The thing
partners.
is, people, this shit is dumb when you think about it. You're trying to take one person with their own belief set of ideologies, the way they do things, and you trying to match
Coordinate.
it with somebody else who has the same exact thing. And you know what I've learned, and I've been guilty of this. A lot of people take, if you're a bad communicator, right? You will apply that to damn near every relationship because you might meet that one guy who don't care about you being a bad communicator. So then you get kind of comfortable in your bad
You
communication.
get validated in it.
Right. And so then you think, well, I didn't have to communicate with Steve, so now that I'm with Ron, I ain't got to worry about communicating. But Ron is big on communication. So now y'all bumping
So now
heads.
Ron's an asshole,
Right.
because she's not used to.
Right. And then
Ron.
she say, well, I can't, you trying to change me, or you want me to do things a certain way, and I'm just not that way. You have to, anybody listen to this shit, if you want a relationship to work, you have to adapt. If you don't know how to adapt,
Come on.
motherfucker, run away. Stay away.
They act like they're scared of the word compromise, adjust, and adapt.
You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt.
If I hire you on a job, you're going to adjust,
Right.
adapt, and compromise.
But
When
there's just lines of where there's no more adapting, and then you have to say this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
But it's like
It's when you're
can't-
doing too much.
You gotta know when
if
to
you're
know.
the only one always adapting, if you're the one
Yes,
always
there's a
adjusting, if
balance.
then there's got to be a balance. So when
It's
you
like-
see that, that's when you got to stop. But you got to be self-aware. You got to open your mouth and speak up for yourself, because people will run you the fuck over.
Cause I talk with my hands, for example, especially when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about. So sometimes if I'm talking to my girl and we having a discussion or something, I can get kind of, boom, boom, moving my hands. And I was dating somebody and was like, I hate when you do that because I dated somebody who hit me. So you reminded me of that traumatic time in my life. So me having to adapt, I had to be more mindful when we had these conversations to just either put my hands in my pocket.
And
or
then here's my question:
down.
what has this person done about that?
Nothing.
So that's my problem. You want me. You want me to be responsible for your emotionality, your healing, your traumas,
And your
And
happiness.
you ain't doing nothing about it.
And your happiness on top of that.
Oh, your happiness on top of it.
What
I don't
you- what
mind
do you have
stopping
to-
my hands, but can
Give me a
you
pound.
What
Give me a
can you
pound.
please do something about it too?
What do you think about that, Paula? Making people responsible for your happiness. What do you have to say?
Don't make me unhappy. Hell, that's all I ask. Don't make me. If I'm happy, don't make it your job to make me unhappy. You think you got to humble me, or you think you got to do this. I'm joyful, happy. I'm peaceful. I'm moving along in life and doing my thing, and you feel like you need to come over here and make me unhappy. You should just be an asset to it. Icing on my
Absolutely.
cake, and let me be icing on your cake. And don't bring your grumpy ass over here.
I think happiness is like in
Feel like I think we hit a spot. I
We-
think-
we
Yo,
did.
you hit one. You hit the nerve, the vein of my existence. It's a
happiness-
man
happiness
that
is
wants to
like
make me
fun.
unhappy.
It's an inside job. If you're not happy with
Yeah.
you cannot. If you don't love you, if you're not happy with who you are, get out of the game. Put yourself on the do not play list because
Yeah.
you're just about to ruin shit.
You
just
are.
You about to ruin shit. You are literally about to ruin shit.
And then you get irritated when somebody, because this is what I dealt with. Like, you getting irritated with somebody who is happy, who is healthy, or who is optimistic.
oh yeah.
You mad because I woke up. Whew, I made it. You mad.
Yeah.
I literally, I'm not going to say who this person, I can't bash him, but I literally had to ask this man in the middle, because I was like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? And I said, do you think the lack of a relationship with your father is the reason why you might be unhappy? What do you mean? I'm happy. I'm happy. I was like, I walked backwards. I said, okay, you happy.
Hit dog a holler.
Oh, backwards.
You did that to the crime dog? Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't.
I'm happy.
No,
I was
no,
like,
I
that
feel
scared,
you,
that
yeah.
scared the bejesus out of
Just,
me.
just
Here's the problem.
a broken person. Just broken.
What you just said. Here's the problem. Most people don't know how to be alone.